I became a millionaire by changing one thing, and that is changing the people that I hang around. You see, one of the biggest challenges when it comes to starting your own business, growing your business, is to know who to hang around. So it's what we call the rule of the third. A third of the time, you hang around people who are at your level. Another third of the time, you hang around people who are below your level. And the other third of the time, you hang around people who are above your level. And what happens is when you start thinking like this, it changes your perspective. That's why there's this saying that says, if you hang around people who are rich, you're going to be rich. If you hang around people who are broke, you're going to be broke. So there's a couple of things that I want you to really pay attention to when it comes to growing the people around you and how you can actually find them. People say, well, John, how do you hang around millionaires? Like if I ask you a question right now, how many millionaires do you hang around? So I've got friends who are now billionaires. So the question is, how do you hang around people who are billionaires? The whole idea of this is to make sure that you are constantly on the search to have this open mind and know where they hang out. For example, if you go to a networking event, which is specifically to do with family offices, you're going to find not just high net worth, but ultra high net worth there. For example, Monaco, you look at where a lot of rich people hang out. Like you've got to find a lot of these, these places by knowing where they hang out. This is one of the reasons why people say, John, like, why do you buy supercars and don't even drive them? Because when you buy a supercar, you get invited to the Christmas party. And I find a lot of entrepreneurs at these parties as well. So we do, joint ventures, we do partnerships. If I think about it, what are some of the ways we can really start to find people that we can really connect with? And so the one question you have to ask is, what are you doing to help them? What are you doing to support them? What are one of the things that you can really focus on that can solve their problem? And it's funny because I meet people in all walks of life in different wealth classes. But one thing I found is that it doesn't matter what level you're at, they always have challenges and they always have problems. So the three questions I always ask is, what are some of the challenges that you're facing right now? Or what are some of the things that you really need support with that you're working on right now? People say, well, John, don't you have to be at a certain level to do that? No. You can actually find people who are already within these specific industries and then connect them together. Let me tell you a story. Many years ago, when I first got into real estate, I started to go to these networking events. And the more of these networking events that I would attend, I would find other people. And there was this one specific networking event that I went to called the Box Property Meet. And my friends Just One and Silver Rye, they invited me to do a keynote there. So I show up, I do a keynote. Once people now know who I am, the networking gets multiplied. There's this saying that says, it's not who you know, but it's who knows you. It's not who you know, but it's who knows you. And the more people that know that you exist, the more likely are people are going to do business with you. They're going to ask you specific questions on, oh, how do you do this? How do you do that? Can you support me with this? And so when you're in the network, when you're in it, you're in it. I find that a lot of the times people are not even making the effort. Like people say, John, well, why would you fly 5,000 miles across the world just to have a meeting to fly all the way back? Well, by the way, if you are going to do that, you want to have something called net time. Net time stands for no extra time. So you're going to go there and you're not just going to have a meeting. You'll have a number of meetings. You might have a podcast interview. You might do a keynote engagement. You might do some networking of your own in that field as well. So I find that a lot of the times we've always got to keep focusing on, first of all, paying close attention to what it is that you're constantly doing. Number two is, who are you also supporting? Because when you support somebody else, it creates a knock-on effect. I'll give you another example. I had a speaker who I've known for over a decade. He's been busy, I've been busy. And I said, look, I have an event coming up. I'd love for you to do a keynote on the topic you talk about. So he does a keynote at this, but I've never been invited to his keynote. What I noticed is I've seen him on a lot of different podcasts. So I just make one phone call and I say, hey, Daniel, who do you know that you could connect me with? Because I know you've been on a lot of podcasts, for example, in Dubai. And he puts me in touch with 3 people. 2 of them say, yep. One of them says their schedule's pretty full, but we'd love to have them on the show. Now that I go on that event or these podcasts, people listen to me and it multiplies the networking. Remember, it's not who you know, but it's who knows you. This is the one thing I really changed in my mindset and the things that I would do, because I noticed that the more I put myself out there, the more opportunities would come. There was a direct correlation. Every time I would say no to a keynote, no to a podcast, no to a speaking engagement, no to an event, no to a friend's party where you create your network. That's why there's this old saying of your network is your net worth. But I never really understood what that meant until I was really in it. And this is why a lot of the investment deals that I get, a lot of the property deals that I get, a lot of the allocation into some of the Web3 blockchains come to me because of networking. It's for the people that I know, but they also know me. There's a third part to this. And the third part is, well, who do they know? So it's not who you know, it's who knows you, but it's also who do they know. And if you're able to find out the people that they know, and how do you do it? It's really simple. Like the people that follow you, look at who follow them. Let's say you're following this person, they're following you. Also look at who they're following, who are not following you. So what happens when you go to that person's post, you make comments on that post, people that they're following that not following you are going to see that, oh, this person also follows this person. So if you follow them and you make a post, they say that they're following you, now you get followed. Now, why is that follow important? You know, having follower for metrics is not the key. It's to curate the network. And it's kind of like when you go to a party, there's always the party and there's the after party, but then there's always the after party. You'll notice that when you go to someone's party, like the key people are not always there. They're in like a private room and then within the room of a room. So it's kind of like the inner circle. It's really the one thing that I changed that made a massive impact to my net worth and my income, because I was connecting with the right people, the right deals were coming, the people who they know, they knew me, I knew them, and we started to expand. And then what happens? Collaboration. You start to create a lot of collaboration. The more you collaborate, the more you help, the more you're able to grow as well. These are some of the things that I really want you to pay very close attention to. In fact, I would write down who's on your dream list, who are the people that you would love to meet, and just grab a pen and piece of paper, write it down. There's this saying that the person you want to get to is within 5 contacts of that person. That's why LinkedIn is so powerful. Because when you go to LinkedIn, you see, okay, who's your first connection, your second connection, your third connection. The whole point of this is focus on building the networks this year. Focus on connecting. Make the effort to join a mastermind, right? That's one of the things I love to do. But people go, well, John, the mastermind is really expensive to join. But do you know, if you join a mastermind, everyone there is self-filtered to be there. So all these people are self-filtered. Now they're in there. Guess what they can do now? You start doing partnerships. That's why people that want to pay to go, they go. The people that don't, then they don't get access to the inner circle. And this is why I want you to start thinking about. So number 1, build your own inner circle. Number 2, find other people's inner circles. And number 3, start putting yourself out there so people know that you exist. They know what you do. If you haven't got your website yet, you should always check your website and check your name if you've got a website. So my name is John Lee. I own johnlee.com. So when people go, well, who's this John Lee guy? They just go to johnlee.com. I literally met a billionaire the other day. He said, who are you? I said, oh yeah, well, this is my website. You can have a look. When they go there, they see all the different videos and all the things that I do and all the podcast interviews that I've had. So people get to experience who you are without really knowing you. So they kind of know you from afar. And when they meet you, you have to, of course, need to make sure that they align. That's how people get to know, like, and trust you. You build the rapport. The rapport is now able to start creating the trust. And then you add massive value and bang. That's how you create networking relationships. Honestly, I tell you right now, out of everything that I've done, the thing that moves the needle the most is that find the right people at the right time with the right selection, where you can actually start either make an offer to help, offer to support, but you want to give first as well. A lot of people always come to me and say, oh, John, can I have this, or can you do this? Can you make a post for this kind of stuff? No, you always want to go with a give and keep giving, 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 giving. And guess what happens? They give back to you. By the way, if you have any questions on, if you know anybody who's looking to build a network, you want to really grow to the next level, we're actually running a lot of live in-person masterminds. You can check the link in the description and you can check out all the upcoming events. Other than that, if you have any questions, leave them below. Check out this video here and it'll really help you grow your business, your entrepreneurship, and then monetize.